boom! Went from a little hole to a big hole. So this is pretty cool. This has been a lot of fun. This truck is, you know, it's like a never-ending thing because I keep having so much daggone fun with it. So what we're doing right now is we had the 612s in there with the small blow-through hole that we had, and it hammered pretty hard. What we're doing now is, you can see, we've made a big hole, and my son has called this the truck van now when the topper's on it. It's kind of funny, and my wife says now it's an SUV. And so, yeah, I guess we could put a third row seat in here. Joey's actually working on the other sub box. It's going to be similar to the one that we had in there, so basically, as you can see, this will be the floor of it, but it's going to be double stacked, and we're going to have 8 MTX 15s in there. We're adding one more amp than we already have, which we have 5 right now, so we'll have 6 amps. Then we're going to do 4 batteries, so this thing should really pound. And I had a couple people ask me about the structure in here. There's really no structure in this back panel. It was basically just a single piece of like 18 gauge metal, so there's nothing crazy there. There's really no bracing there. Being a unibody truck, this thing is pretty sound, but we might go in there and add just a little bit and kind of box this back in. But so far so good. We put a stop on the seat because the seat will just fold back, so all that's good. What else do we have? Also had a guy say, man, you mean you'd cut that back wall out, but you won't cut the truck up and make it lower? Dude, quit hating on me, because this thing lays floor, it lays the subframe, it pushes the floor up when it lays out, and I'm 2 inches from laying rocker, and the guy's like, you want to tuck more wheel? So, you know, we could build a chassis, spend hundreds of hours doing that, change the front wheel drive to rear wheel drive, put an LS or something like that, and the next thing you know, I've got $50,000 and 500 hours in it for 2 inches to tuck more to get the tire. Come on, man. Looks different to me. That's BASF, that's this shit. Like, not even close. Like, it's not even in the damn ballpark. That's why you always use BASF, everybody.
You want to watch paint dry? There, watch that dry. 30 minutes later.
All right, so what we're doing right here, spray out card. So we've ordered a little bit of paint, and unfortunately they didn't have a toner in the brand that we use, so I'm kind of in a crunch because we're shooting this thing for, obviously the Maverick's going to SEMA, so we're shooting the top for that. We're gonna graphic the top of it and do all that. And the color on the top was really, really close, but since we've already shot the truck before, we're rebasing this to basically ensure that everything matches just 100%. The problem with this is it seems like it's a little bit off. So we're gonna do a spray out card, make sure it's where we want it to be, because if it's not, we're just gonna wait on the stuff we normally use, or we could tint on this. So we'll figure out what we wanna do. Okay, so here's something that's pretty cool. This stuff is called Quick Check. So it simulates a clear, but it evaporates. So we can spray this on here. We don't have to worry about mixing up any clear in the gun. Other thing is with this stuff, if you're spraying a metallic or anything like that, and you're worried about modeling, if it's blotchy or anything, you can actually spray this directly on the car and see what your finish would be. It'll evaporate off, and then you can clear it. So it's pretty neat. Look at that. I need somebody to comment before I go paint it. I don't like it right there. All right, so the blue was close, but it was not close enough for me. So what we're gonna do is, when we were over there looking at it, I thought it needed some silver. So we took a little bit of what we had and put just a drop of silver in it, and it was almost right on the money. So what we've got already mixed up that we were doing on that spray out card, we're going to put a little silver in here and go do another one and see what happens. Let me get that. All right, so we've mixed that silver in. We've done another spray out card. Got a little quick check on it. Let's see where we're at now. Smoking Bob would say, it's really not that bad.
guys, I forgot to put on my lucky painting shoes and my lucky painting hat. It's gonna turn out like ass now.
All right, first coat of base, laid down really nice. Got a couple more coats to go, then a coat of Intercoat Clear, and we're gonna lay down some graphics. All right, so we've got everything masked off. We've started our fade. So on the bottom of our Maverick, we're going from purple up to blue. So what we're doing here is we're fading that same blue at the front and ending the purple at the back. So I've only got one coat of purple on right now, so we've got to keep going and start making that fade transition a little bit better. All right, so we're on to the second coat of purple. These Sada guns spraying at about 26 PSI or so. I'm gonna bump the pressure up just a little bit because when we did the truck, it seemed to like to fade better with a higher pressure. So I'm gonna bump it up just a hair, start stepping this out. Should be good. What year is this again? I don't think it's 2022. I think this is probably 1992, which is freaking awesome. I love it. We definitely took a trip on that 90s bus and went back in time. But listen. Oh yeah, I still got it. All right, so now that we've got our fade pretty much done, next thing we're gonna do is lay down a coat of Intercoat Clear. Now I actually get asked about this stuff a lot, so I figured I'd take just a second, tell you what it is, why I use it. Most custom painters out there, you already know what it is and you guys use it. So what this does is basically I have this fade already laid down and I'm gonna lay my next graphic over it, which is like a little Z or something. Well, if I mask up that little graphic and I shoot it, and let's say I get some overspray out on this blue and this purple, I've not ruined it. I don't have to go back and respray the blue or the purple because you can't sand on this because it's a metallic and a pearl in there. So basically what that's allowing to do is we get a coat of clear base. Get overspray on it, we can actually sand that off because we've got a protective coating. So every time I lay down a graphic or a couple of graphics, I'll lay down a coat of Intercoat Clear. Another thing this does is open us up a new window. And what I mean by that is, let's just say, for instance, I can't remember on this line, but let's say you've got a 72-hour window that your base has to be top coated or resanded before you have to apply. Basically, you're losing that chemical adhesion at that point. So let's say we're laying out a ton of graphics and we're 72 hours in or whatever that number is. We can lay down a coat of Intercoat Clear over the whole thing. It opens us up a whole new window again. So instead of clearing it, sanding it back down, doing it again, this basically is allowing you to cut your time in half or more. So if you're not using an Intercoat Clear when you're doing any kind of graphic, I would definitely do that because it's just an easier way to go about it. Alright, so here's what's next. We've got that yellow laid down. I really like that color. What I've done is I've taken this same yellow back out there and I've darkened it up with some green just a little bit so we can get a little bit of an effect going here. And this was pretty cool. So when I'm laying down all my tapes and stuff and my fine lines, I'm basically only using Dasa. That's what I found that I like the most. Sandpapers and everything, but also for custom paint. So I've got a little polish right here. I wish I had a smaller bottle that I could put this in so I could really get what I wanted. I don't right now and everything's closed because I'm here on a Sunday. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to see if we can get some of this out of here like I want it, and you'll see what we get. Once this is cleared, that will just really pop. It's Got to go back through and just kind of clean up some of these edges a little bit. It's a pretty cool, just old school effect that's really simple. Alright, so we got a good bit going on now. We got a lot of stripes laid down. We did a couple of different effects. We may still do some more because I have some more effects I want to do. But what we're going to do right now, we've got these stripes laid out, which are on the bottom of the side of the truck. And here's a neat little thing you can do. So we've got this magenta laid down. I've got some white in the airbrush. So what we're going to do is come around this bottom side, stay about a ½ inch off the edge, go along the top and just dust in some white. And what I'll do is I'll do the same thing with some black along the bottom, just dusting it in. What that does, it makes it look like it's round, almost like a 3D effect, which is a pretty easy thing to do and make it look cool. So just lay a little bit down and see what happens. Shadowing this outer edge. I want it to look like the blue of the truck is over the top of it. So we got everything blocked back down with 600, wet sanded the whole thing with a block, got all of our lines leveled out. Everything's looking really good. We got it cleaned up, remasked, gonna lay down a few more coats of clear. It should be good to go.
Doc, you mean to tell me you built a time machine out of a new Maverick?
The way I see it, Bobby, if you're gonna build a time machine, build it out of a mini truck.
All right, we got the paint finished up on the topper, looking awesome. If you don't like it, There's something wrong with you. You need to get checked. So here's what we're doing now. We're about to head out to Joey's at the Outlaw Garage. All right, come on, Bob. Joey is building the enclosure for our sound system. We're about to go get all of that in there. So we're gonna hop in the truck, drive it over to his place. We've got 8 MTX 15s going in this thing. We're gonna have 6 amps and 4 Odyssey batteries. I think probably around 7,000 watts, I believe is what we're going with, 7,500, something like that. So it's gonna be crazy. I can't wait to see what decibels this thing hits because we're about to make some noise.